Today, I will be reflecting on my experience throughout this MBA program and how it shaped both my professional and personal development. Over the course of this program, I've gained not only knowledge, but also a new way of thinking about leadership, strategy, and decision making. In this presentation, I'll walk through my growth, the challenges I faced, the key concepts I learned, and how I've applied these concepts directly to my role as an Army recruiter and leader. I will also provide some recommendations for improving the program based on my experience. Overall, this reflection focuses on how I evolved from a task-oriented leader into a more strategic and data-driven decision maker. Throughout this MBA program, I experienced significant growth in how I approach problems and make decisions. Before starting the program, I relied heavily on experience and intuition. While that can be effective, it often lacks structure and consistency. This program helped me develop a more strategic mindset by introducing frameworks and models that guide my decision making. I also improved my ability to think long-term rather than just focusing on immediate results. Additionally, one of the most valuable aspects of this program was the ability to apply what I was learning directly to real-world situations. In my role, I was able to take concepts from class and immediately test them in a recruiting environment, which made the learning much more impactful. One of the biggest areas of growth for me was shifting from intuition-based decision-making to a more data-driven approach. Early in the program, I often relied on what I thought would work based on experience. However, I learned how to support those decisions with data, metrics, and analysis, which made my decisions more effective and defensible. A major challenge I faced was balancing the demands of this MBA program with my responsibilities as a station commander. Managing a team, meeting recruiting goals, and completing coursework at the same time required strong discipline and time management. At times, this was difficult, but it ultimately improved my ability to prioritize tasks, stay organized, and perform under pressure. This challenge actually became one of the most valuable parts of the experience because it strengthened my leadership and resilience. Several key concepts from this MBA program had a direct impact on how I think and operate. One of the most important was segmentation, targeting, and positioning in marketing. This helped me understand how to better identify and reach the right audience instead of using a broad approach. Consumer behavior was another major takeaway. I learned that recruiting is not just about presenting information, but about understanding how people make decisions. This includes emotional and rational factors, as well as trust and perception. I also developed strong skills in data analytics. I now use metrics such as conversion rates and lead tracking to evaluate performance. Finally, financial analysis taught me how to justify decisions using return on investment and cost-benefit analysis, which is critical when proposing new strategies. One of the most valuable aspects of this MBA program is how directly applicable it has been to my current role. As a station commander, I am responsible not just for results, but for how those results are achieved. By applying what I've learned, I've improved how we identify and target potential applicants. Instead of using a broad approach, I now focus on specific segments that are more likely to qualify and enlist. I've also implemented better tracking methods to measure performance, which allows me to make adjustments in real time. Additionally, my capstone project focuses on influencer-based recruiting, which is a modern approach that aligns with how younger audiences consume information. This is something I can realistically implement in my current environment. While this MBA program provided strong value, there are a few areas where it could be improved. First, incorporating more real-world case studies earlier in the program would help students connect theory to practice sooner. The capstone does well, but introducing applied learning earlier would make the program even stronger. Second, increasing the number of hands-on projects would improve engagement and help reinforce learning. Practical application is one of the most effective ways to understand complex concepts. Lastly, Introducing more exposure to modern tools such as analytics platforms and CRM systems would better prepare students for today's business environment. These tools are widely used in industry, and familiarity with them would provide additional value. In conclusion, this MBA program has had a significant impact on my development as a leader and decision maker. I have become more strategic, more analytical, and more confident in my ability to make informed decisions. The knowledge and skills I've gained have already improved my performance in my current role, and I know they will continue to benefit me throughout my career. This experience has helped me transition from simply managing tasks to leading with strategy and purpose. Overall, this MBA has been a challenging but extremely valuable experience that has prepared me for the next level of leadership.